This is the Horse Radio Network.
Greetings, everyone. Coach Jen here, and thanks for tuning in to Horse Tip Daily, episode 1398, brought to you today by Purina. Today's tip is an excerpt from the Horsemanship Radio Show podcast here on Horse Radio Network. Show host Debbie Loucks is joined by Dr. Sherry Gaber with a tip on recognizing pain, symmetry, and yoga for your horse. And we'll get right to our tip after we hear from our sponsor, Purina. Do you have an older horse that's trying to age gracefully? Trust the future with your old friend to the #1 equine vet recommended senior feed. Purina Equine Senior and Senior Active Horse Feeds are backed by unparalleled research to support the unique needs of horses as they age. Both patented feeds include active age prebiotic technology to support optimal immune function, mobility, and appropriate metabolic response in aging horses. Plus, now with Outlast supplement built in, they also support your horse's gastric health and comfort. Purina Animal Nutrition. They're years ahead in senior research, so you can have more good years with your horse. Put their research to the test at horseinnovation.com.
Let's get to it. What do you have for us today?
Well, most people don't look at the whole perspective of the animal, and I always want people to be safe. And if an animal is hurting, it's good to know. So it's good to look at the animal. If they are hurting, they're not going to use one of their limbs or a couple limbs. So you want to look at, if an animal's hurting, they're not going to use it, so it's called, then you lose it. So you want to look for symmetry, which means balance. Okay. I start at the butt, and I move the tail, and I tell the horse I'm there. I put my hand on the upper part of the tail, then bring my hand down a couple inches, and just move the tail over, to the other side of the outside of the leg. And you want to look at the buttocks and the width of the thighs. Okay. And you want to see what's balanced, or if one is smaller, one is larger. Then you look at
atrophy. Is it a little atrophy of the muscle then? Shrink.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if they're out of alignment, then one hip is locked, then that muscle is not going to be used well. Okay. So then it gets smaller. So then you know that hip isn't working well. It could be sore, going up or down hills. Then you're aware. The other thing you can do then is butt scratches and belly scratches before you ride. So when you're looking at something that's sore, if you do the scratches, then you can see how easily the horse will kind of like, I call it a yoga stretch, stretch up. So you put your hands on both sides of the tail and you scratch with your hands, or you go underneath the belly and you always stay on the sternum. You never go past the rib cage, and you do a scratch there, and so they could do that yoga stretch. And if it's difficult for them to stretch, then I would say either get some good chiropractic care, some good muscle work, and just know that they're sore. So then that way you're safer and they're safer.
That's good. Yeah, that's a great tip. Thank you. I think a lot of people that have been around horses long enough have seen people doing that. They might have asked themselves, wonder what they're doing. I think that's a great thing to explore. Thanks for that.
And then I've got a bonus tip.
Oh, wonderful.
So what you can also do to see if an animal's been using their body symmetrically or in balance is go on a mounting block like a couple feet away from the back end, and then look down from the top end, from the buttocks to the shoulders. And sometimes you have to move the mane away from one of the shoulders, and see if you see symmetry or asymmetry, which is, not balanced. So if one is atrophied, one side isn't atrophied, you look at the balance from the horse from that angle. So that'll also tell you if your horse is balanced or sore.
Okay. Is it always that case, Sherry? Is it something that we're doing in training maybe that makes one side more built than the other? Or is it almost always something that's causing pain in the horse?
That's a really great question. All I would say is, I hate to say this, most animals, just because they are who they are, and sometimes they're hard on each other, and sometimes there's traumas, most animals have a misalignment. So all I can say to that is, from a chiropractic perspective, that it could be because of a misalignment.
Yeah, and that's worth checking. Yeah.
And all I know is from good trainers is if you're going to do one something for one side of the horse, you have to reverse it.
That's excellent. That's absolutely true. And a lot of people don't recognize that. I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah. Thanks for this week's trainer's tip. I appreciate you.
Oh, thank you, Debbie.
And that wraps it up for today. Make sure to have all of your favorite Horse Radio Network shows with you wherever you go by downloading the free Horse Radio Network app for your iPhone or your Android. Just go to your app store and search Horse Radio Network. This is Coach Jen, and I will be back again soon with another tip. So until then, go ride your horse. The Horse Radio Network and the Horse Radio Network hosts are not responsible for statements made by guests on the Horse Tip Daily. Please use your own judgment when listening to the tips on this show.